Hello guys, and welcome back to my booktube channel. I read a little, and I forgot to record an intro for this video, so I'm quickly going to put one up now. So this video is my April TBR, and really exciting this month. I'm participating in my first bookathon. I think that's what you call it. I'm new to booktube, so this will be my first booktubeathon or bookathon or whatever it's called. I'm not sure what the right term is really, and I'm participating in Aprilathon, which is being hosted by Aprilathon Maximus. I'll put a link to her channel down below, so if you've not already checked her out, make sure you do check her out because she's really cool and she recommends really good books actually. I've only recently just subscribed to her, and shortly afterwards she put the Aprilathon challenge up, and the challenges are quite broad, so they're quite easy to fulfill if you're new to booktube. So yeah, I'd recommend participating, having a look at the video, subscribing to her channel, etc, etc. Yeah, so I'm firstly going to cover the books that I'm going to be reading for the challenges. There's 6 challenges, and then I'm going to be talking about the books that I'm going to read throughout the rest of April. So you can double up on the challenges if you want to, or you can read a book per challenge. I've got 6 books for each, like a book for each of the challenges, so I'm not actually doubling up unless I run out of time. But it's up to you really what you want to do. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm recording this on the 2nd of April, so I've actually already started the challenge anyway, so it's going really well so far. So yeah, we'll just get straight into the books that I'm going to be reading for the month of April. So yeah, we'll just get into it. So I'm looking at the Word document so I know what books I've picked for which challenges. I've picked a book for every challenge, although you can obviously double up on the challenges if you want to. So the first one is book that you most recently acquired. So for that I've picked the last book I got at the library, because that's the one I've most recently acquired, so I just picked the one that I checked out last, which was Strange Weather in Tokyo by Hiromi Kawakami. So yeah, and I kind of I picked this one up because I tend to, sounds awful, but I tend to gravitate towards Japanese authors. I just really enjoy the writing. Usually, from my experience, every time I read a Japanese author, I like their style, and not to generalise, but all the ones I've read have been very similar and I've really enjoyed them. So I thought, as soon as I saw this, I was like, yes, I'm going to pick this up, I'm going to read it. And I really like the cover. I just feel like the cover's a bit weird and like mysterious, and I'm kind of like, wow, I want it, like if that's what the book's about, I want to read it. So yeah, basically the book is about a girl called Tsukiko, I think that's how you say it, or Tsukiko, I'm not sure. She's basically drinking alone and she comes across her old high school teacher, I think it's her high school teacher, and they end up having a chat, and the book is about the relationship they form now that they're no longer in the student-teacher relationship, essentially. And I'm assuming there's some sort of romance that goes on or something like that. Anyway, I have no idea. So it's just basically about they continue meeting each other and their friendship deepens. Yeah, I know it's a romance because it says an immaculate tale of modern Tokyo and old-fashioned romance from Japan's most respected literary writers. This is a heartbreaking and unforgettable read. I didn't realise that it was going to be a sad tale until I read that bit. So yeah, I'll let you guys know what that's like. But yeah, that's most recently acquired. And then the next challenge was a book with a beautiful cover, and for that I've picked La Belle Sauvage by Philip Pullman. I got this book for Christmas, just gone. My mum bought it for me, and you could get this copy with like a sleeve, but it wasn't, I didn't think the cover was as pretty, and this is like, I think this is like a special edition they brought out, and it's just got lovely like gold on it, and I don't know, I like the inside as well, and yeah, I think it's just a really nice cover actually. So yeah, this is book 1 of the Book of Dust trilogy, I think it's going to be. I hadn't read this so far because I thought it was connected to his Dark Materials trilogy, and I was slowly reading my way through them. I was halfway through the 2nd book and I haven't as yet finished them. Obviously I've read them before, but I wanted to it's been a number of years, so I wanted to catch up on them. But I haven't managed to finish them, and I've heard this is a prequel to that trilogy. However, I'm sure Philip Pullman's been going on about how it's not a prequel, it's not a prequel. But all the fans seem to think it's a prequel. But I've heard that you don't have to have read the other books to read this. So I'm going to read it and we'll see. I'll let you know. I'll let you know what it's like. But yeah, I thought that cover was beautiful, and it's like, you probably can't tell from the video, but it's quite shiny, and it's like, the book's made of like lovely material. I just think it's pretty, so that's what I picked. Okay guys, the next challenge is a book that I've been meaning to read, and for that I'm going to pick from my jar of TBR books. So all of these books they're either a Kindle book or they're on my physical bookshelf, but they're books that I have had for over 2 years that I need to either like choose to keep or choose to get rid of, because I'm trying to minimise my library a little bit and just get rid of some books that don't like mean anything to me. So it's probably going to be a Kindle book, because I seem to be getting I seem to be picking up Kindle books more than physical books lately in these. I think every time so far I've picked from this jar for each month, it's been a Kindle book, so I really just want to finish some of the ones that are on my bookshelf. So yeah, what have we got? Oh no, no, no. I ain't doing that. Great Expectations, guys. I'm not going to be able to read that in a 7-day challenge. No way. I'm allowing myself one put back. And I'll pick again. I'm not reading that. I can't read that. That's too long. No way will I be able to finish that. I'm picking another one. I picked another one. I always allow myself one put back, so don't hate on me. I can't read Great Expectations in a 7-day challenge. No way in hell. Okay, this is doable. So it is a Kindle book, Kelsey Breeze. So this is A Man of Shadows by Jeff Noon, I think he's called. And I basically bought this book by accident. It was a book that I bought on holiday, and I had seen these books I wanted to read I always buy some Kindle books to read on holiday. And I bought this book thinking it was another book, and I didn't realise you could refund them if you bought the wrong thing, so I kept it and just haven't read it. So I meant to buy this other book that I'd been eyeing up, and I got the titles mixed up and bought the wrong book. And it was only when I started reading it on holiday that I was like, this isn't the book that I wanted to read. Like, I don't even know what this is about. So yeah, I've got no idea what it's about. I started reading a page of it and I was like, this isn't the book I wanted. And I stopped reading it. So yeah, we're going to read it this month, this week even. Yeah, so book I've been meaning to read, A Man of Shadows by Jeff Noon. I would tell you what it's about, but I haven't got a clue what it's about, so I'll let you know when I finish it and do a wrap-up video. Next book, or next challenge, is book with your favourite colour on the front, and I've picked The Smell of Other People's Houses by Bonnie Sue Hitchcock. I don't know what this book is about. This actually covers quite a few of the challenges, because I acquired it quite recently. It's got my favourite colour, it's been hyped on YouTube to me through people I follow on YouTube, and I'm really excited to read it. But I really don't know what it's about, but it's just every YouTuber I followed has recommended this book and said, read this book. So I picked it up. I was really excited that my library had it, because my library is shit and has like no books in it. They're really not that good of a library. So when I saw this, I was like, I'm having that, I'm going to read it. Don't know what it's about, haven't got a clue. I'll let you know when I've read it, I guess. Next book is a hyped book that's been recommended to me, and for that I've picked Scythe by Neil Shusterman. I have a e-copy of it, so I'll put a picture of it in the corner here. But yeah, I'm really excited to read this book. This has been really hyped to me on YouTube. Like, every video I've watched seems to be recommending this book. It's a YA utopian fiction about people who can't die, basically death. Humanity has progressed so far that they've managed to stop dying, essentially. So they recruit these people called scythes to maintain the population. Yeah, so I think you can live forever, and you can be like whatever age you want to be or something like that. So they have to like slowly pick out people to kill off, essentially. And I think it's about two this isn't a spoiler because I think it's on the blurb, it's about two people who end up being selected to become like scythe apprentices, and what happens to them essentially. So yeah, I'm really excited to read it. So it also covers the challenge of excited to read book, and I think that's probably what I'm going to read first out of all of these books, because it's quite short. It's only, I think it's 400 pages, but it's like, because it's YA, it's quite easy to get through, so it shouldn't take me too long to finish it. So yeah, really looking forward to reading that one. And then finally, a book that I'm excited to read is a library book, and it is called Luca and the Fire of Life by Salman Rushdie. Now, I am not a huge fan of Salman Rushdie's adult fiction. I find them quite hard to get into, and they're always quite heavy and like thick, quite heavy topics. However, he's written, I would consider them young adult, or like maybe slightly younger, or like maybe even middle grade, I don't know. He wrote a book called Haroun and the Sea of Stories, which I read as a child, and I absolutely loved it. I thought the storytelling was amazing. It's just like a lovely fairy tale, like folk fairy tale. And he wrote that book for one of his sons, and it was a favourite book of mine as a child. And now he's written Luca and the Fire of Life, which follows the story of Haroun's younger brother and his adventures, and he wrote this book for his other son. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading it actually. It should be good, and I would recommend everybody read Haroun and the Sea of Stories if you've not read it already, and if you have, make sure you pick up Luca and the Fire of Life. I had no idea he'd written another book. Super excited to read this one. So yeah, that covers all of the books I'm reading for the Aprilathon challenge. Let me know, guys, what you're reading. I'm going to be uploading on Twitter, keeping you guys up to date with like how my progress is going, and I'm also going to be putting a weekly vlog up covering like the whole week of Aprilathon, so I'll let you guys know how I managed to get on through those videos as well. And now I'm going to go on to the rest of the books that I plan on reading in April. So the first couple of books that I'm going to read are part of I think they're a trilogy, or they might be a duology, I don't know. I picked these two up because they were available in the library. If there is a third book, it wasn't there. But because both of them were there, I thought, holy shit, I'm going to pick them up, because as you know, my library's not great, and I wanted to collect them while they were like available. So the first book is Blood Red Road by Moira Young, and then the second book is Rebel Heart by Moira Young, and they are part of a series. I don't really know what they're about. I've just heard them recommended to me as a good YA book to read through YouTube, so or booktube I should say, so I thought I'd just pick them up and see what they're like. It looks kind of cowboyish and kind of like, I don't know, it kind of reminds me, from what I'm like reading on the back, it reminds me of The Gunslinger, but I don't know, but like a young person. But I'll let you guys know what I think of it. I've got really no clue what they're about, and I want to read more books this year that have kind of been recommended to me that I'm not aware of, or like that I don't know much about what they're about, and I just want to read them because other people have said they're good. Like, I don't care whether I know anything about them or not, I just kind of want to read them and do like a blind review. I think that's quite fun. So yeah, I don't really know much about them, I'm just going to read them anyway, and I'll let you know what I think of them. And another book that I picked up from the library is To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han, and this has also been recommended heavily through BookTube as a good, I think it's a good YA book to read, so I thought I'd pick it up. And it's basically about a girl called Lara Jean, and she wrote, or she kept love letters to all of the boys that she's ever loved, and I think they get out and get sent to like all the boys, and I guess it's about like what happens as a result of that. The only thing that concerns me about this book is she looks young on the cover to me. If this is the character, she looks quite young. I mean, look, she's got like full length socks, and it's quite like girly and young and like fluffy, and you can't have loved that many boys when you're that age, surely not. So I'm assuming that she's older when the letters get sent out. So if this is her as an older person, that concerns me. Like, she looks like she behaves very young for her age. So I have a slight concern that she's going to be an older person, but she's going to be behaving like a teenager, and that's going to be too sickly for me. I'm not a fan of like overly sickly romantic books, like I don't like them too fluffy, so we'll see. I'll let you guys know what I think of it, but it is a concern of mine. After I took it out, I was like, that concerns me, so yeah. And then the next book that I want to read is Ireadalitte is Completely Fine, and I've, like, for once, a book I bought, a physical book, and look, it's all like tidy, none of the edges are all like, oh, I love it. I love a good, like, fresh new book that isn't like pre-owned. Love it before it gets all ruined. Anyway, Ireadalitte is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman, and I got a sample of this book on my Kindle and I thought it looked shit. Like, I read a couple of chapters and it was so fucking boring, and I thought, I'm not getting this book, it looks boring as fuck. And then everybody's been going on about it. Everyone's been going on about how good it is. So I almost feel compelled to read it all the way through and give it a fair chance. So I bought it. Might be a mistake, I don't know, we'll see. But just through sheer encouragement by other people of going on and on and on about it, I thought, I'm going to have to read it because everybody's going on about it. So I need to figure out once and for all if it's crap or not. So yeah, I'm going to read it. I don't really know what it's about. It's kind of like, I think it's about a woman, like, who's very dull, or like she comes off as very dull at the start of the book. Like, she doesn't go out, she goes to work, she eats bland food, she wears plain clothes, she's very odd, and I don't know, it's about what happens to her. She thinks that her life is enjoyable and that she's having like a good time, and then I guess she realises that she isn't and does something about it. I literally have no idea. But at the start of the book, like, I fucking hated her. She was just so, like, I don't know. Her co-workers were like picking on her and I felt kind of sorry for her. But she's got that, like, bland banality that you just, like, don't really care. I don't know. But yeah, I'll let you guys know if my opinion on this changes in my wrap-up video. And that's all the books that I plan on reading this month. I will probably read more just because I think that's only like 12 books. And I've obviously got the whole of April to read, so expect more books on my April wrap-up, but these are all the ones that I have on my TBR for this month. So yeah, give the video a like if you enjoyed it, guys. Let me know what books you plan on reading in the month of April, if you've got any similar to me, and I will catch you in my weekly vlog video.